Uhuru everyone! This is Jesse Neville, National Chair of the Uhuru Solidarity Movement, working under the leadership of the African People's Socialist Party. And I'm here today to deliver a statement to you on behalf of the national campaign to make Wall Street pay reparations. Why? Because now is the time. Now is the time for us to rise up against these thieves, these parasites, these bloodsuckers on Wall Street who are fattening their bellies while this colonial COVID-19 pandemic is killing African and indigenous people in this country at genocidal rates. Why don't we start with the 43,000 millionaires who each got an average $1.7 million tax break from the CARES Act. That means that while millions of people in this country, especially in the black community, are wondering when they're going to be getting their measly $1,200 stimulus check, 43,000 millionaires already got theirs to the tune of $1.7 million each. That means that as a group, these 43,000 millionaires and billionaires enjoyed an unexpected windfall of $82 billion. That's more money than the CARES Act put towards every hospital in this country combined. Not to mention the trillions upon trillions of dollars that the Federal Reserve has been forking over to the corporations and the banks for the last several months, on top of the $29 trillion that they got during the Obama administration. So this is a corporate cash grab that is happening in the name of COVID-19 relief. Meanwhile, there is no relief for the African population that are dying in places like New York at twice the rate at which white people are dying. Then you have this scam of the so-called small business loans that the CARES Act was supposed to allocate $484 billion towards small businesses. Not a single black-owned small business ever saw a dime of that money, and most small businesses in general never even saw that money. Millions upon millions of dollars were bagged by billionaires and millionaires and huge publicly traded companies. Over 150 publicly traded companies ended up getting a huge slice of that money that was meant for small businesses. And the banks like JP Morgan Chase, Citibank, and Bank of America netted a total $10 billion minimum from processing fees on those small business loans. At a time when African people in prisons are facing the ravages of the colonial virus known as COVID-19, the billionaire class in this country increased its wealth in the last 4 weeks by $308 billion. Jeff Bezos alone, this is the CEO of Amazon, this guy increased his wealth from $105 billion 4 weeks later to $130 billion. That's more than the gross domestic product of the entire economy of the country Honduras. In Florida, where I live, 800,000 people still haven't seen their unemployment benefits. But meanwhile, the CARES Act fast-tracked $2 million to Fisher Island, which is a luxury posh resort getaway spot off the coast of Miami, where the average resident is a millionaire and where they lounge on beaches made from imported Bahamian sand. So I think it's pretty clear the conclusion that we should come to. Living in a country where the average white family has 33,000 times the wealth of the average black family, where we have the largest prison population on the planet, with more than half the people in prison inside this country being African people, where we live in a country that was built through the theft of the land from the indigenous people and genocide that is still being committed against them, there's only one conclusion that you can come to. Capitalism has to go, and we have to demand reparations from the ruling class. We have to rise up and make the demand for reparations from these billionaires that are profiting right now. And we want to call on those 43,000 millionaires and billionaires who got that $1.7 million stimulus tax break. I'll tell you where to send it. Grab your checkbook, make it out to the African People's Education and Defense Fund, earmarked for the Black Power Blueprint Project, the visionary economic program of the African working class in St. Louis, Missouri. We demand reparations from those 43,000 millionaires and billionaires, and we call on the white community to join this campaign, to get into this fight under the leadership of the African Liberation Movement for reparations to the black community in this country and around the world. Join the campaign to make Wall Street pay reparations. Uhuru.